Hello and welcome to the first of my virtual card and a cuppas for October. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Fiona Whitten and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Wokingham in Berkshire here in the UK. So this is the first of two virtual card and a cuppas for this month. This morning I held the in-person event over at Home Grange Craft Village, and this afternoon I'm sharing with you the cards that I took as samples, and I'll also be making a fourth card. So without further ado, so this is the kit that everybody had, including those who came along, and also there's a few people who ordered them. Just bear with me a moment because I'm just trying to make sure that I am going live, and it looks like I am, so that's good. Okay, and I've got that up so I can see any comments, hopefully, if they pop up. If you do want to leave a comment or have any questions, then, as I said, just leave a comment and I will, if I don't notice it straight off, I promise I will get back to you. I do read all the comments afterwards and leave replies, whatever. So anyway, so this was the kit from today's card in a cuppa. It features some die cutting, some embossing, there's all sorts of bits and pieces. So I'll just run through it briefly. So as always, there is an envelope. The base card is a piece of pretty Peacock. So this is a sheet of A4, the other half would be there, cut in half and then scored in half. So that's just the base card. There is a panel of basic white which will go inside the card so that you can write a sentiment. There's another panel of basic white which was embossed using the time-worn type 3D embossing folder. So this is what I used to actually emboss. So there's words and splodges and all sorts of things on here. So it just makes a really good background. So there's that. There are two wreaths which have been die cut from the Country Wreaths. So the Country Wreaths Dies also is designed to go with the Cottage Wreath stamp set. So we used the bow this morning for inside the cards. The Cottage Wreath Dies, there are two. Oops, it's stuck together. So these are the two wreaths. So there is one which just has like a single leaf, or it's on two all the way around, and then this one is a little bit more detailed, so you can pop these out if you want to, raise them up, do all sorts of bits and pieces with these. So it's just slightly different. So this one's Pretty Peacock and that one is Night of Navy. There's also a Boho Blue die cut bow. Again, this is the bow from the Country Wreaths die set. So, and I like how it gives all the details, so it's great because you can then move it around and sort of make it look a bit bigger than it actually is, make it fuller. So there was those. And then last but not least, there is another die cut, basic white, which was die cut using the Brightest Glow dies. So Brightest Glow was one of the stamp sets and dies that were available last year in the mini catalogue, and they actually carried over, so you'll find them in the annual catalogue, as will you find the Cottage Wreath set. So there was this as well. So that was all the bits and pieces that were in the kit. Those that went in the post got some rhinestones as well, but I took rhinestones with me, so people were able to add those onto their cards. So this was the first card that I shared, and I always call my first card as basically throw everything on it. So all the pieces that were in the kit are on the front of this card. I don't know if I hold it a bit closer to the, let's see, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. So the two wreaths have been glued together. I've got the pretty peacock underneath the Knight of Navy, and then they were added to the embossed piece of basic white using some mini Stampin dimensionals. The bow was also added using, actually no, I think that one might have been glued on, looking at it. The sentiment comes from the Brightest Glow. It fits really nicely in that die cut. And then a couple of rhinestones, and then on the inside simply stamped the bow from the Cottage Wreaths. So you can see that. Let's move it down so you can actually see it. So that was the first card. The second card, I sort of started cutting a few bits and pieces. So this one, I cut the basic white embossed panel into a square. So this is an 8 centimetres by 8 centimetre square. Again, glued the wreaths together, put those on the centre of the square, added the bow, put some rhinestones on, and then Season's Greetings. This one's was stamped in Knight of Navy, and again, it's a sentiment from the Brightest Glow stamp set. So this has got everything on it. It's just that it's been cut down. When I say cut down, the white was cut down. And then again, on the inside, the panel's just simply got a bow, and there's lots of space for you to write a sentiment, write, greeting, whatever. You can't quite put all your details of everything that's gone on in the year on there, unless you've got really minuscule writing. Right, and then this was the third card I took. So I did something a little bit different in that I glued the wreaths together, but then I cut them in half. In fact, actually, I don't think I quite managed it to be neatly in half, but no matter, because I just simply added them to the card front and then used the sentiment, which is on this die cut, to hide where all the cuts are. So, and this has got Wink of Stella all over it, but you can't see too well. If I move things around, I know it's all going to go a bit out of sync. And I don't know why my internet is playing up at the moment, because I can see it keeps buffering. So that's got a Wink of Stella on, as has that. And then this one, because I didn't put the bow on the front here, I decided that I would just add it inside the card. So I've still used all the pieces, just in a slightly different way than I guess most people would expect. I have a habit of kind of going off piece with some of these. So that's my third card. So those are the 3 cards you can see that I took with me to Card in the Cuppa this morning, and I just am going to bring my kit back and make a start on making a 4th card. Now, I could do all sorts of things. I did originally think, oh, maybe I'll just turn it from a portrait to a landscape, which ordinarily wouldn't be a problem, other than the fact that your fold would be at the top. But because this has words on it, I think it might look a bit odd going up and down rather than side to side. So it's probably not a good idea. What I could do, though, is simply cut this into a square and turn it so that I would have just that portion on there. So effectively you'd have this, but it'll just be turned around. So this would be there and that would be there. But I mean, I think you guys can kind of work out that's what it would look like. So I thought I would do just something slightly different. So I have got a scrap piece of white, and the luxury is that because I'm at home, I've got the whole of my craft room here, so I can really go completely off piste, but I'm not going to, only slightly. And I'm going to use the deckled circles dies. These, I have to admit, totally passed me by. They are in the mini catalogue, but they're on a corner of a page, and so if you blink, you kind of miss them. And there are 14 dies in total, and the last one, it's huge. I mean, this is a standard card, and as you can see, it's far too big for that. It looked great on a square card. But you can use it for cutting all sorts of bits and pieces out. So I'm not going to use the big one. I'm going to use the one that is the third one up from the smallest. So that's the smallest, the next one, and then this one, because it will sit quite neatly behind the wreath. So that's the circle that circle die that I'm going to use. So as I said, it's a decal, so it's not a perfect. So it's a perfect circle, but it's got squiggly edges, which would be ideal for actually going behind the back of that wreath. So I'm going to first of all stamp my sentiment, and I had a whole load of basic white scrap paper here, and I've obviously gone and put it somewhere, but hey, I can see it. Sorry, I'm just going to stand up and get that. Oh dear. Right, so this is all my scrap white. Let's see, that's probably just pushing it a bit on that. That would be fine. Yep. Just want to make sure that I had a piece that was wide enough. It doesn't need to be massive. But what I am going to do is I'm going to stamp the Merry Christmas from the Cottage Wreaths stamp set, which I'm actually thinking about it. I already have it out, so it's here. Now, being photopolymer, you will probably want to put something that has a little bit of give underneath whatever it is that you're stamping. The red rubber, which is this, so this is from the Brightest Glow. It already has foam on it, so it already has that little bit of give. The photopolymer doesn't. If it's just a sentiment, you could probably get away with it, but I'm going to use my Stampin' Pierce mat anyway. And I'm also going to use, let's see, what colour shall I do? I'm going to use my Night of Navy. So I'm just going to stamp the sentiment on this, and then I'm going to die cut it out. Don't need an awful lot of ink. I don't need to bash it up and down. So that's that. Let's close this ink up so that I don't make a mess by putting my elbow in it. And I'm just going to bring in my mini Stampin' cut and emboss machine. Now obviously the larger dies from the decal circles will not fit through here, but this is just perfect for this particular sized circle. I don't trust this not to move around, so I need a tiny bit of washi tape. I'm going to stand up to do this so that I know that it is definitely straight. I could go top, I could go bottom, but I actually want it to go in the middle of that wreath. So I will do it that way. I've got my sandwich, so I've got the bigger number 1 plate, the number 2 plate, and then the cardstock and the die, and then I've got another number 2 plate on top. Right, let's just move that out of the way. So that should fit perfectly behind the wreath. So that's going to go like that. I'm not too worried about the fact that you can see the white in there, because in any event it's going to be sitting on top of that. So you would normally be able to see it anyway. Oops. I just need to make sure that I've got all the bits off here. So I'm just going to put a thin line of glue on the back of this wreath, so that I can glue the sentiment to it, which is this. There we go. Doesn't really need to be a whole circle, so long as it catches most of it. Now I want to make sure, as I said, that that is in the middle. I think that's pretty much how it needs to be. And then I'm also going to put some more glue on top, so that I can then add the Night of Navy wreath. Now I don't want it to match completely, so you kind of want to offset it slightly for the leaves. Like so. And then once it's dry, you can then sort of start pulling various leaves up and everything, just to give it a bit more of an effect. But at the moment I'm just going to leave it. Oops, that's not very good. That didn't want to go. Maybe it's because I got a bit of glue on the end of my finger. Let's get that off. Let's just put that to one side for a second to dry. I'm going to glue this to the front, so I need to make sure that I do have my words the right way round, which I do. And I want to see the embossed side, not the debossed side. So that is going on here. Like that. Now the one thing I forgot to do, and I'll just do it now, I'll just turn the card over and let's burnish that score line, just to make sure that the card will lie as flat as possible when it comes to posting. Now this is going to go on here, and I don't need a sentiment on the front simply because I've already got it in the middle of that. But I could put my bow on like so. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to add this piece with some dimensionals. I can use the large ones on this because they're going to get hidden. And you don't actually need lots, so I'm just going to put 3 on. Actually, and before I do that, I think I'm actually going to put some Wink of Stella on this. Now I'm not going to just use the brush and sort of brush all over. I'm going to like put some splodges on it, and you can do that by just simply tapping the Wink of Stella on the lid, or you can flick using the lid and the brush. It's whatever you find is the easiest way. I'm not putting masses on, I just want to add a little bit of sparkle here and there. I don't even know if you could see it, but it's definitely on there. I think it's going to be one of these ones that you don't really see it until you actually get it in front of you. So that's going to go in the middle there, like so. And then I'm going to get my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm just going to sort of lift up some of these. Don't have to do them all, just a few as you go around, and you can lift up the ones underneath as well. Obviously being careful not to pull up the actual wreath off the other one. So let's try and get that one up. Like that. And then I think I'm going to finish the front off. So as I said, I'm not going to, I mean, you could put the bow on, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to add some, could either put some rhinestones on, or I could put some of these rather sweet festive pearls on. So I think I'm going to use the festive pearls. Fight my way into the packet. And I think I'm going to use the silver ones. Just put the lid back on that end so I don't end up stabbing myself. It's on already. Just use the putty end to lift up the silver. These silver pearls, they're very pretty. So how many is that? Didn't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What the heck? 6. Lift that up, put it on further along. Actually, I think some of them I may even put 2 on. Going to town with these. Like so. So those are the pearls, and maybe, actually no, I don't need to do that because I got my wee Costello on there. I'm always saying less is more, so I really should follow my own words. Move that out of the way. So that then leaves the inside, which cardstock is there. Now I have the this that I could put on rather than stamping, so I'm going to do so. At least then I know I've used everything from the kit and there's nothing left. So let's I put it on my grid paper and line it up. It's 10 centimetres wide, so if I line it up between the 14 and the 24, actually no, maybe not, maybe I'll do the 15 and the 25, and then I know that that line there is in the centre. So then I know that if I put that on the centre line, like that, then that will be in at the top but in the centre, which is what we want. Don't really want it off to one side or anything. And then that's going to go on the inside of the card. Like so. And there we go. So that's my 4th card. I'm not sure whether I need to put something in the middle there, but I'm going to leave it at the time being, and if I still think I need something in a little while, then I'll put something on it. But at the moment, I don't want to end up putting too much on it, especially given, oh, I said I used everything and I haven't. So I could, I don't know what I'm going to use that for. I think that's just going to have to sit to the side. I'll use it for something else. So that's the 4th card. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing that being made. We've got a couple of things going on this month. So Stampin' Up! Is celebrating their 35 years in business. My goodness, I haven't been a demonstrator that long. They started in the States, so I've been a demonstrator now for 12 years. Wow, crumbs. Time flies. Let's move these down so you can see them. I keep forgetting that every time, even though my phone is in exactly the same place as it always is, it just seems to wind up having, you can see different amounts. But hey, at least this time I managed to get Facebook to actually play along with this. So those are my 4 cards. So yes, 35 years. So they've got a special offer on the starter kits this month. You can pay £99 and get 35% more. So instead of ordering £130 worth, it's like 170 something. Or you can still choose the £130 worth, but pay only 65 something. So it's 35% off. So that's a really good deal. So it's really up to you if you want which one you want to go for. That is, of course, assuming you want to join Stampin' Up! And it would be great to have you as part of the team. And then there were a couple of new kits that were released yesterday. Both of them are Christmas ones, the Christmas theme. One is called Rustic Christmas, and it's kind of like a grown-up advent calendar in that it's little pockets and things that you can add to the Christmas tree, or you can create a garland or whatever. And then there's also a very sweet Christmas card kit. So I think that's what's going on in October. Of course, I've got Card and the Cuppa in 2 weeks, because we're always on the 1st and 3rd Wednesday of the month. And then the other Thursday, did I say Thursday? I mean Wednesdays of the month. And then on the other Wednesdays of the month, then I go live on Facebook at 2:30 for the virtual Card and the Cup. Dear, what am I going on about today? Go live for Stamping and Creating. I think I'm just definitely having one of those days, but hey, never mind. So 3 cards from Card and the Cuppa, and then the 4th one that I've just made live on this video. So hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again next week, hopefully. Take care. Bye.